Pathetic earthlings. Who can save you now?
Rush! Savior of the universe! Strange object imaged in the Imperial Vortex.
So before we get started with this story, if you want to support the channel, check out my Teespring store. You'll find a link in the description. You'll find search such as this one, a Soye story. So I saw Ethan did a video on this, and I wanted to do one as well because, well, my name's on the list. So I wanted to. Quick little history lesson. If you were on Twitter and you followed DNC, you were probably hit with a blockchain. Now it's been updated to include new names. What is a blockchain, for those that don't know? A blockchain is apparently some kind of third-party app or website. I've never ran one, so I don't know how it works. But apparently you go to this little spot, and you put in a Twitter handle, and you not only block that handle, but you block every single person that follows them. So if you follow me, or anybody else that's on this list you're going to see, it's a consequence of that. So you are probably blocked by the entire comic book industry. I'm sorry about that, but you're not really missing much. Mostly just lectures and how terrible of a person you are if you think differently from them and how they don't really want your money. That's basically all you're missing. They don't even really talk about comic books anyway. They never talk about it. It's all politics. 24/7, every day, every night. So, this guy Perch, I've never really interacted with him too much. I know he doesn't agree with some of the things I've said before, but it doesn't really matter. The guy mostly just talks about comics, so, I don't have a problem with that. But anyway, he says, so someone posted to a comic retailer Facebook group a hit list of people on Twitter that were suggested to run a blockchain on. I almost said the Twitter, the twatter. And if you suddenly discover a few relatively unknown indie creators in comics have blocked you, here's the full list in next tweet, 1 of 6. So what I find funny about this is that this was posted in a comic retailer Facebook group. That was really initially what made me kind of mad, because when it comes to Comicsgate, one of the original big things was, what about the comic shop? And then there were certain things that really just annoyed me. It was when Jawbreakers dropped that I got it really annoyed. And I said, you know what? To hell with the comic shops. Not all of them, right? There's some good ones in there, but there's also a lot of bad ones. There were a lot of comic shops that were saying, I'm not going to stock Jawbreakers. I don't care if my customers want it. And some of them said they would order it, right? But many of them were attacking Antarctic Press and all kinds of stuff. And it's like, well, you're not going to carry it if your customers want it? That's kind of shady. That's kind of odd. I don't know how, I don't care for that. So you're actively not trying to make money now. What is this, Plus, comic shops have a lot of power. They could stand up to Marvel and say, hey, this stuff isn't selling. We're tired of this. We're going to order less. They don't do that. They bend the knee over and over again. It's disgusting. And then I see this. So this is in a Facebook retailer group. This is a bunch of comic shops that are talking. It's like, why are you talking about blocking? And you're going to see what Perch says. 50,000 customers. You have comic sales that the average comic book sells at, this is the correct number, around 30 to 50,000 units. That's the average sale. So you're literally blocking just about all of your customers. Because I'm going to tell you one thing about CG is they're all hardcore comic book people that were potentially buying your books. But you're saying, hey, I'm just going to block you. Here, block these customers. Hey, struggling cat food person, why don't you block off more people that are going to potentially buy your books? It's counterintuitive. So anyway, You go here, note the follower count number is my addition. More on that in a moment. So Ethan Van Sciver, 37.4. Nick Rekieta, 24K. Doug Tenaple, 18.5. This is Mike, 4.7. Yellow Flash Guy, that's me, 10.3. It's crazy. That Umbrella, 9.4. And Edwin Boyette, 4K. Edwin Boyette, like the voice of reason. What is this list? So here's where he breaks it down. So if you use Twitter Analyzer, you get a lot of overlap in the followers with most accounts, which is true. The total number of unique followers is 44.2 across them all. Most of these people come from followers of Doug versus Ethan. Still, over 44K is quite a large number, like very large, 3.6. So my opinion here, I don't agree with big things some of these people say. Still, blockchains that wipe out nearly 50,000 comic fans is a staggering number. Any way you cut it. Let's say a whopping 50% of those people are trolls. You're okay blocking 25,000 people? As I said before, mute works great. I agree with him there. I mute quite a few people. I'm not on Twitter for slap fights, and a lot of people like to get into them. If you're pooping around in my Twitter threads trying to get my attention, I'm probably just going to mute you, because if you're just being stupid. Now, if you're like trying to have a conversation with me, maybe I'll DM you, but I don't feel like sitting on Twitter all day. But if you're just trying to be a troll like that Rumble Terrier guy, you're just going to get muted instantly. I just have no time for you. No time for you. Just like Renfamous. I muted her a long time ago. Then she blocked me. Like she went into her hug box. So I blocked her back. I will block back so then you can't come report me, which they love to do. So, it's a good point here. You're okay with blocking at least 25,000K. I disagree that half of them are trolls. That's not a good thing to do. DMI here is a good dude. I would follow him. Good guy. Used to be a comic book shop owner. Got out of it. Why? Because it's not profitable. Because you have people doing crap like this, blocking 50,000. So I'm guessing that this was a list that was suggested to indie comic creators. These are comic creators that are trying to curtail to the industry and kiss industry behind and stuff like that, and they want to smooch it up with them. That's the wrong way to go. So you have people in CG, right, that have good books. I'm thinking like Monster MD, stuff like that. And a lot of these guys, they don't even have big platforms, but their books are so good, we'll bring them on our platforms and they can show their book to people and they end up making a lot of money. Monster MD, he does have a YouTube channel, but if he put daily content up, I think he could have a nice little platform. But he's made like $30-something thousand. And I think he has less than 1,000 people on his YouTube channel. But because his book is so good, I've retweeted it. I put it in my community tab. He's been on Ethan's show a bunch of times. He gets to go on shows and talk about his book because his book looks good. And because of that, he's made $30-something thousand. And these indie creators, they're barely making any money. They're literally eating cat food because they can't afford anything. And like your principles are that like you're going to go by this crap that is a lie that the comic industry says so that, you can stick to eating your royal canon. Okay. And the fact that this is being suggested by comic book retailers really, really annoys me. And this is why I've just given up on, what about the LCS? The LCS are they're putting bleach in their own drinks. Slowly, right? Not enough to take themselves out, but slowly consuming it over time until they go out of business. All right. These people need to run their businesses better. Now, I know a couple of comic shops that I go to, and they run good businesses, and they're smart. And as long as the comic industry is there, I think that the comic shops that I've been going to will be fine. But the problem is that it would seem that the majority of them aren't so good, and if they collapse, what's going to happen to the ones that I like, which will be a damn shame. Hopefully, some of these people will take their heads out of their asses and we won't have these issues, but, you know, I don't know. The future does not look good. I could do a video going over the comic book sales right now and showing you just how bad they are. You've got Batman underneath the top 10 barely. Like, what is going on here? You know, these books are terrible. Anyway, that's pretty much all I got. Just wanted to rant on this because I thought it was funny and angering at the same time. So anyway, like, subscribe, make sure you got that notification bell hit, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.